Hello everyone, sorry I hadn't got around to making my video yet, but you were probably expecting it. Subscribe to my channel, hit like, feel free to leave respectful comments. Let me know who you think the characters are. If you disagree with who I think they are, if you agree with who I think they are, be like, yeah, that's who I think it is, or whatever. So, the Masked Singer is always changing things up on us. So, last week, this newest episode, episode 7, I believe it was, the Super 8 episode. Yes, it was episode 7. They actually revealed 2 characters, which I will be telling you what were and who the people were. So if you haven't seen it yet, do not watch all of the video. I will tell that at the very end. So yeah, it was a 2-hour episode, which I was not expecting. I guess most people weren't. And it was like, yeah, okay. But pardon me, most of the reason that I hadn't got around to doing the video yet is because my youngest daughter had her baby, very, very adorable, cute little boy. And my other daughter, she had her baby on Wednesday. My other daughter was getting married Saturday, and I was planning to do this either Thursday night when I was working, and also went to the hospital to go visit my daughter and her new baby again. And so I was like either going to do it that night or do it Friday morning, possibly Friday afternoon, before we left to go to my other daughter's wedding. And I realized that there was a whole lot of stuff that I still needed to do to get ready for her wedding. So that being said, now I'm doing this, and hopefully I'll get around to posting it today. So okay. Sorry. The ones that performed on episode 7, the final 8, were Piglet, Robopine, Chameleon, Yeti, Russian Dolls, Black Swan, Crab, and Seashell. All of whom I think are very good. I mean, it's like an all-star cast. So anyway, and I wrote some stuff down. Like, my son had said that he thinks I try to focus too much on the clues, so I was going to try to go more with people's voices. Now, some of the people I have not heard sing in a long time. Some of the ones I think that they might be, and like, it's like, in order to just go off the voices, you would literally have to be current with every single singer, or just know the person's voice. Like, I should have known Mark McGrath's voice. But anyway, so yeah, I was like, I guess I will try to do that for the most part. I don't know how easy that's going to be. And my plot was that I was going to, the list of clues that I spoke about before, I was going to try to write down a clue for each of the episodes, equal to the number of episodes that there have been, to try and help me figure out who they are. But I don't know when I'm going to have time to do that. So I'm not planning to do food delivery for a while, so I can help my daughter out with her new baby, who is very well behaved so far. So not sure how much help she'll need, but she might need help. She might need someone to watch him while she does some stuff that she needs to get done, So they had a guest judge on there who was Rita Wilson, who I don't really know who is, but her newest song is I Want to Kiss Bob Dylan. Apparently she sings, and she's an actress. And there was stuff about her that seemed familiar whenever she was on there. I don't know. I'm kind of thinking maybe she's on Modern Family, but I don't know for sure because I hardly ever have watched that show because I don't care much for it. So anyway, the first one that performed was Piglet, and I don't know if I wrote down any of the songs that any of them performed, and I didn't write down very many clues for some of them because I was trying to go with the voice thing. And if it was someone that the clues for them, to me, seemed to still be pointing in the same direction, I just made a brief note and then went ahead and said who I thought they were. So Piglet, to me, sounded like Zac Efron when he was singing this time. I did listen to some of Zac Efron's music from various things, so, and his main clue to me was that he had broken his finger at one point. There's a lot of men, I'm sure, that have broken their fingers, but to me that kind of stood out, and he mentioned it more than once, and I'm like, okay, so this is maybe a really big thing, which reminds me I was going to look and see if that applied to any of the people I think he might be. And so he said that he moved back with his parents not too long ago, but due to the fact that his career had taken a slide downhill. And they kept showing, people dressed up like pirates in a pirate ship, which to me was totally, completely Pirates of the Caribbean. It wasn't anything else. It was Pirates of the Caribbean. So I'm like, well, maybe it's Johnny Depp, because I know that Johnny Depp can sing. He can sing real well. I've guessed him on, for this several times. But then I was like, the thing about him not having found love, and now he found someone, like, he recently broke up with someone, we all know. And so I was like, maybe Orlando Bloom, because he dated a few people off and on, and then he didn't date for a while, and they went back and dated a couple of people or whatever, and then he found Katy Perry. They fell in love, they got married, they have a child together, I believe a daughter. So I was like, seems like that might be more pointing towards Orlando Bloom to me than Johnny Depp, but I don't know if Orlando Bloom can sing. I was trying to remember if I'd seen him sing in anything. So, and there was also a UFO in there. I hope y'all can hear me over this wind. I have my windows down so that I don't get too hot, but yeah. Anyway, there was a UFO, and he kept talking about signs, and I was like, well, maybe Haley Joel Osment then, or Mel Gibson. I mean, Mel Gibson can sing, but I don't know that I see him actually wanting to be on something like The Masked Singer. Like, I don't know. It could turn out to be him. I haven't listened to him singing yet. And then there's also, go back to the love thing, and I recently found someone who turned things around for me and made me decide I might want to be a family man after all. Mel Gibson has been married for years, so it's like, no, I don't think that's it. Okay, so they revealed a favorite food for each of them, which I think I did write down each of them's favorite food, whether I wrote down any other clues for them or not. And Piglet's favorite food was cotton candy, and he said it reminds him of his first job. So I'm not real sure why, but that also made me think of Orlando Bloom, because it seemed like I had heard him say at one point in time that he worked a concession stand. Now, I could be totally, completely wrong on that. I could be totally, completely wrong on all of that. And he also said, "You don't know me from Adam," which made, the judges were talking about Adam Levine, who I've guessed for quite a bit of stuff, but he also has been married for quite some time. So I don't think that it would be him. And there was the orange foam finger with the peace symbol thing that somebody pointed out, in their opinion, was representing Tennessee State or something like that. It could be OSU. Now that I think about it. But anyway, and there was a pine tree air freshener, and then they showed Clue a Doodle Doo or whatever he's called, and I wrote down that I'm pretty sure he's Jamie Foxx, because he seems to know stuff about all of the contestants, but I still also think it's possible that he's Joel McHale. Even though Joel McHale was on one of the episodes as a guest judge, I think he could have pre-recorded his part on that episode. But anyway, so I apparently didn't even write down who I think Piglet might be, except for writing down at the first that he sounded like Zac Efron, because if I'm going from voice, I'm still saying Zac Efron. But the pirate ship stuff, I don't know how to associate with Zac Efron. You know what I mean? So, because of the pirate ship stuff, coupled with the love stuff, I think I'm actually going to change on that one to Orlando Bloom. This video may turn out to be way longer than I was intending for it to be, even though I haven't written down much clues, because I'm already to 9.5 minutes, basically. So bear with me. Don't forget to subscribe, hit the like button, let me know what you think. Nothing raunchy, because I had an issue with that early on, and I'm pretty sure that YouTube has taken care of that issue for me. I blocked a bunch of people also. But anyway, so the next one that performed was Robopine, and he was talking about how he had lacked confidence always. There was there were baby blocks and some other baby stuff that they showed. They showed a bicycle. He said something about a block party. He was talking about his success. The block party thing to me made me think of 50 Cent, and at one point in time before, because of some of the clues and his voice on a certain song, I thought of 50 Cent, so I was like, But anyway, and Harrison Ford, I found out, cannot sing at all. He can't carry a tune in a bucket. I might have already mentioned that. I was thinking he could sing because I had heard mention about him singing before, so I was like, well, surely he's done Broadway musicals and stuff, and he can sing. No. Carrie Fisher wanted him to sing at her memorial at the Oscars, or whichever ones it is that they do that at, after she passed away. She said this as a joke many years before she passed away, because he can't carry a tune in a bucket, so she was doing it to, pick on him or whatever. And from what I heard, he did try to sing a little at her memorial thing. So I couldn't find actual footage of that, or maybe he just went up there and said that he wasn't going to sing like she said she wanted him to because it was just a joke. I don't know for sure. But yeah, so his favorite food, he said, was lobster. And he said something about his family in Costa Rica. And so, like, that totally threw me. I was like, family in Costa Rica? Well, maybe Harrison Ford owns land in Costa Rica. Jamie Foxx totally knows who it is. And I was going to look up where some different people are from, and I never did. But there was also, it showed a Roman statue. And he said the past year has been very challenging for him, like it has for a lot of people. So I sort of thought maybe perhaps because of some of the clues that he might be Pitbull, but I don't know. So I'm like, I'm not sure how much he sounds like Pitbull to me. To me, he sounds more like 50 Cent on the song that he did this time than he did like Pitbull, and the block party thing and the way he talked about success made me think of 50 Cent. So the next one that performed was Chameleon, and he said he met his goat, G-O-A-T. I can't remember what Robin said that represents. He worked beside him, and it showed a number 2, like he's the number 2 one to this person. And he mentioned Win, Lose, or Die, and I was like, seems like that's a song or a movie or something like that, but I don't remember for sure. I haven't had time to look into that. And the song he sang was Regulate. I didn't write down who he was, and I wrote down that he was Swizz Beatz or possibly 50 Cent. Okay, so Chameleon maybe is the one that sounded like 50 Cent to me. Robopine, I wrote down 50 Cent because of the block party and success thing. That's what it was. So yeah. So now I would lean, I guess, more toward Pitbull because of the Costa Rica thing, which I don't know if he's connected to Costa Rica or not, but I'm leaning more toward Pitbull for him. I didn't realize that I hadn't written down who I thought they were. This is confusing. Anyway, so yeah, Chameleon to me sounded a lot, he's the one that sounded a lot like 50 Cent, but I still think that possibly because of the clues, he could be Swizz Beatz. His favorite food, he said he likes eating fried birds and cricket cakes. It was like pre-made meals, ready-to-eat meals, like military-type meals, indicating that perhaps he's been in the military. He said that he supports our troops, but he also said that he's always... Okay, I thought that was someone else that said that. But anyway, he said he's always with his gang. And like I said, it showed the number 2. There were some deer that someone said might reference the Bucks. So it might be someone from the Buccaneers, but I don't feel like it is. Anyway, and like I said, there were the meals ready to eat. And Clue Doodle Doo said that he rooted for him at the Golden Globes. So then the judges were like, oh, well, that changes things. Though, like they were leaning toward thinking that he was an athlete or something, basketball player, because he's real tall, maybe a basketball player that can sing, and there are some of those. But I was like, how does that totally completely switch stuff up for you? Because I've been pretty sure that it was someone who DJ'd or did like tech type stuff for a long time. I even went the PewDiePie way there for a while, which I am going away from now. But I really feel like he Swizz beats. I do. Could be wrong, but I really feel like he is. So ignore that part, because I wrote down who got revealed there, because I was watching it and not writing all of them down, because me and my youngest son were talking while I was watching part of it. And I watched this episode, mind you, in like 3 or 4 parts, because my daughter was in the hospital having her baby. It was a long episode. I don't watch it the night of. I watch it the morning after, or the day after. And I worked 2 days last week, Tuesday and Thursday. So Thursday I was working. I think I worked like 7.5 hours, and the new baby at the hospital, and trying to get some of the stuff ready for the wedding. So yeah, I watched it in like 3 or 4 parts. So I have the names of the ones that got revealed there, right there, which I'm going to skip for right now. So the next one that performed was Yeti, and he said that he turned his life around. And as soon as he said that, I was like EminEm, which was one of the people that I thought that's who I thought from the first time he performed, because a lot of people don't know that EminEm can sing, though one of his best songs, in my opinion, is Haley's song, which is one that he sings. But so yeah, I had thought at one point in time that if he was on there, I would be like he would open his mouth to sing, and I'd be like, that's EminEm. But maybe not, because it sounded a little different inside the suits sometimes, But anyway, so yeah, I was like EminEm, because he totally turned his life around. He kicked a pill addiction and stuff like that, And he was on inline skates, which made me think of EminEm. You think EminEm did inline skating in Detroit? I'm pretty sure he probably did. He was growing up in the 90s, so the 80s, 90s. So yeah, I'm pretty sure he did inline skating. And I didn't write down a lot for him. It said his favorite food was donuts. And I went, seems like I recall EminEm at one point in time saying something about how much he loves donuts, especially glazed ones. So they were all different types of glazed ones. So yeah, not cake ones or anything like that. And there was a dog. I confused myself the other day. I was looking at this and I'm like, dog country line dancing. There was a dog, and when he was performing, part of his performance was country line dancing style. I don't know how many people are fans of EminEm that watch my videos, but one of my favorite songs of his is Hoedown, which in the video of, they line dance. They country line dance. So he can do that. Because I was like, my son was in the room whenever they were showing this, and I just took like a few clues on it, but I was like, yeah, I'm almost certain this is EminEm. And he said that his ego got in the way early on in his career. EminEm, right? He had issues with that. But there was a point in the episode where he spoke, not on stage, not in the clues section. I don't recall if it was shortly before he performed or shortly after, but there was a point where he did talk, and I was like, are they even disguising his voice? Because right now to me that just sounds like EminEm, and I wasn't even looking at the screen. I'm like, that totally sounds like EminEm talking to me. So I am 98% certain, but I was pretty much certain that Orca was Owen Wilson at one point too. So, but I'm 98% certain that Yeti is Marshall Mathers, EminEm. Take a note on that, and if I'm right, we'll all celebrate. Anyway, the next one that performed was the Russian Dolls, and all I wrote down on them was, based on their voice and some of the clues that were given on this episode, was that I still say they're O-Town. I still think they're O-Town. I could be wrong, but I'm sticking with them. I don't remember what song they sang. It was more of a hip-hop type song, but they did a variety of music when they were performing. So yeah, I'm still going with O-Town on them, and I have no clues written down, so that should make this a lot faster, right? And the next one that performed was Black Swan, who I also don't have very many clues written down on. She said when she was growing up, it was just her and her mom. And that's the only thing that I wrote down from the clues that she said when I was growing up, is just me and my mom. And I was like, okay, so it's like someone that either has no other siblings, which knocks Miley Cyrus and Emily Osment out of there. I didn't realize that she was Haley Joel Osment's sister, by the way. But yeah, that knocks them both out of there because they both have siblings. And they both lived with, both of their parents. So I was like, well, maybe Pink, because her parents divorced when she was young, and she has a brother. She lived with her mom, and her brother lived with their dad. So I was like, well, maybe it's her. And I don't recall, other than, to me, Black Swan doesn't sound like Pink. Once again, I've listened to Pink a whole lot. I have down through the years, and I feel like if she was on there and performing, I would be like, yeah, that's Pink, I feel like I would know her. I might not, because like I said, they sound different inside the costumes sometimes. But the ones that I wrote down that I did some research and discovered were raised by single moms were Selena Gomez, Adele, Alicia Keys, Mariah Carey, Eva Mendes, and Angelina Jolie. They were the ones that I leaned more toward. Actually, I never did really research whether Alicia Keys or Mariah Carey had siblings. I think it said Eva Mendes has 2 brothers. Now that I think about it, Angelina Jolie has the one brother, but they were not raised together. She was just raised by her mom. But I went with Selena Gomez because Selena Gomez has 2 siblings. I want to say actually, I think they're both younger sisters. And when I say younger sisters, they're like at least probably 8 to 10 years younger than her. The oldest one, I would say, is 8 to 10 years younger than her, and then the other one is 3 or 4 years younger than that, I think. So I went with Selena Gomez, and I listened to some of her music on Amazon Music, and I really now feel like Black Swan is Selena Gomez. And I was trying to remember, I'm pretty sure Seashell is the one that said that she traveled the globe with her family when she was younger. I'm really hoping that this wind is not affecting how well y'all can hear me. So the next one that performed, who I wrote quite a few clues down for, even though I still just decided to go with who I thought he was Crab. And what I wrote down was there were lots of BB clues because, there was Big Ben, and then they showed the Brooklyn Bridge, and I know there was at least one other one. Oh, there was a BB gun, I believe, on one of them, or a gun that could have possibly been a BB gun. I'm pretty sure. And I said, for me, the biggest clues for Crab were that on the one episode, he said something about his family who has gone before him, and it showed Bee and Butterfly. Bee being Gladys Knight, Butterfly being Michelle Williams. I was going to look up the name of it. There was a movie, series, I'm not sure which one it was. I think it was a movie, though, where Michelle Williams played for Gladys Knight, and Bobby Brown was on it, and I'm pretty sure, I want to say that he played for Gladys Knight's dad. I could be wrong about that, but I think the character he played was her dad, which would have made them all family, see? But so I was like, yeah, I'm going with that. And the other one for me was the hard knock life thing. It's a hard knock life for me. Anyway, because we all know Bobby Brown had it hard, him and Whitney Houston were both addicted to cocaine, or she said that they both were. I think he admitted at one point that he had been addicted to it, and he went into rehab for it. Things were not easy for the Motown people because, there were so many people that wanted to perform through Motown, and so many people that did. So many awesome people came through Motown. So yeah, he had a really hard life. So the other note that I made about him, was about him being in that movie or miniseries or series, whichever it was, and that I am definitely sticking with Bobby Brown for Crab. And my son was in there, and I was telling him this, and he's thinking of James Brown instead of Bobby Brown, and I'm trying to explain to him that it's not, that they're not the same person. But anyway, and then the last one that performed, ironically, was Seashell. And I watched her clues, I was listening to her voice, and I was like, I'm still sticking with Janet Jackson, mostly because her canon clue the week before was the Motown clue, and she said that Motown brought her family together, and I'm like, I know Joe Jackson had a lot to do with the Jackson 5, with forming the Jackson 5 and whatnot and the other, but without Motown, they wouldn't have existed, so I was like, I'm still going with Janet Jackson. Okay, so now, stop watching me after you subscribe and like this video. Stop watching if you have not seen the episode, because now I'm going to tell you which two characters got revealed and who was behind the mask, okay? Stop watching. I mean it, if you haven't seen it, unless you don't plan to watch it and just want to know who they were, okay? So, the first one that got revealed, ironically, was the next to last one that performed, aka Crab. That's right. Pouty face. Oh, that just made me think, which one of them had the aka thing? That was Robopine, right? Anyway, I'll have to look at that later, because now I'm going, wait, maybe it's not Orlando Bloom if there's the AKA thing. But anyway, I'd need to find out which one of them that was. I can look at my notes here in a second, but I'm revealing who the two were that got revealed right now. So yes, the next to last one to perform was Crab. He got revealed. The judges did their guesses and all of that sort of stuff, and Ken, who was the one that led me on to Bobby Brown to start with, stuck with Bobby Brown also. Jenny, who had originally guessed Bobby Brown and then was kind of back and forth, thinking it might have been someone else, but then sometimes being like, but I'm still thinking it is Bobby Brown, even though when she was talking about the clues, was like, I think it might be someone else. And so, yeah, she stuck with Bobby Brown also. And all three of us were right. Yeah, I got one this season. Thank you, Ken Jung, for that. But, yeah, I mean, the Hard Knock Life and the thing about being Butterfly and my research leading me to that miniseries, movie, whichever it was, helped me to get this one right. So thank you, Google, also. And then the other one, I was sad to see him go, but I didn't want him to have, apparently what happened whenever he had wanted to take the mask off real bad that one week was that he was having a panic attack under the outfit, because apparently Bobby Brown has really bad stage fright, which a lot of celebrities do. And a lot of singers have real bad stage fright and have to amp themselves up and be like, the lights block out the majority of the audience, so just concentrate on what you're doing and, try to forget the fact that they're even there. But yeah, that was apparently his deal. But I kind of wanted him to go home, even though he did a great job performing, because I didn't want to see him end up having a panic attack and something bad happening to him because he was in the costume. But he was dancing, man. I was like, oh no. This was before he had told about the panic attack. Or, well, no, I guess he had already mentioned it. But I was like, if it wasn't just a panic attack, if it had something to do with your heart or your lungs or something, please stop dancing, because I don't want to see you collapse on stage. But yeah, he did a great job. I was sad to see him go home. But then, like I said, I was also happy to see him go home, because I felt he needed to rest, though he's an excellent performer, and that does not mean you don't have stage fright. Because, yeah, even Miley Cyrus has stage fright. So, the other one that went home, sadly, was Seashell, who I was certain was going to be in the top 6. I thought she might win the whole entire thing, and I still can't believe they only had 2 females on this season. That's just so shocking to me. But anyway, that aside, yeah, so Seashell, who was the last one that performed, was the other one that was unmasked, and Nick was like, I'll let y'all know when it's safe to go back to the sea, because Crab and Seashell got revealed. And I was going like, dude, people voted for all of the ones that sang earlier on during the show and didn't vote for the ones that performed last, which is so interesting to me, because a lot of times I feel like they just vote for the ones that perform closer to the end because they remember their performance, you know what I mean? But anyway, so I still was going with Janet Jackson for her, though at this point, like, they were mentioning the baking, a little bit of fashion stuff, and I was like, I mean, Janet Jackson is a fashionista. I don't know that she knows jack about cooking, but she's a fashionista, you know. So I was like, I'm still going with Janet Jackson, but at this point I'm a little iffy about it because I'd forgot about the cooking stuff, even though they were still, you know, they showed the wedding cake and all of that sort of stuff. So they revealed her, and I almost said the same thing that I said whenever I was telling my son who she was. And Nicole Scherzinger, I thought it was interesting because she did have that Motown clue in there. Motown brought my family together, and I'm almost certain that the only judge who voted the guest toward the end of at the end of the episode when she was being revealed, pretty sure the only one of the judges who guessed somebody who was black, African American, was Nicole Scherzinger, who guessed Tamara Mowry. And I don't remember who the other judges guessed right offhand, but I'm pretty sure that none of the ones they guessed, I'm pretty sure they were all white, possibly with one Hispanic person in there. And I was like, but she said Motown brought her family together. I mean, I guess maybe there were white people that worked at Motown too, but to me that's like, no, y'all are all wrong. And they were. Nicole Scherzinger was right. It was Tamara Mowry. The Mowry sisters are just so great. I really have always enjoyed watching them perform. And apparently she has some stage fright also. She said it had been a long time since she had sang on stage, especially to that degree. And she was nervous for that reason. And she said, like, you know, she totally understood where Bobby Brown was coming from, because she has a lot of the same issues. Like I said, a lot of celebrities have that. And I was back to kind of leaning toward Black Swan for a while there, maybe being Miley Cyrus because of her clues. And she said something about that she always gets super nervous right before she performs. And I was like, well, I've heard Miley Cyrus say that, so I'm maybe going back to Miley Cyrus for Black Swan. I ping-ponged back and forth between Seashell and Black Swan, both being Miley Cyrus possibly. And then I was like, you know, when she said the thing about growing up, it was just me and my mom, and I was like, okay, then it's definitely not Miley. Miley has a lot of siblings. I can't remember. There's like 5 or 6 of them, I believe. Of the kids all together. So I was like, yeah, definitely not Miley. And like I said, I listened to some Selena Gomez music the day that I watched this episode. I listened to, I think, like 7 or 8 of her songs. Several of them I didn't even realize she sang. And she's very, very extremely talented. And I need to look back through the clues and see if she's the one that had the witch's broom. If anyone knows, comment and let me know if she was the one for sure that had the witch's broom or not. And like, I'm also thinking that she's the one that they had quite a few candles on, though Piglet they did also, it seems like. But one of the female ones, at one point there were several candles in one of the clues, I'm pretty sure. And I know there was a witch's broom. So comment, let me know if that was Black Swan or not. And if it was, I'm definitely going with Selena Gomez for her, which, I mean, I am anyway. But so I need to get home and text my daughter that has the baby to see how things are going with her, see what she's up to today, what she has planned, if she thinks she's going to need any help. I guess my son is going to be donating plasma today because he usually does that Friday and he wasn't able to do it then. So I'm guessing he is most likely planning to do that, though I don't know how well he hydrated yesterday. I know he ate well yesterday, but he may want to wait until Monday to do it. I'll have to wait and see. If any of y'all can donate plasma, do that, because that's, you know, it helps a whole lot of people, and it's a good way to make extra money at most places by doing it. So I used to do it, but I got to where I couldn't do it. I had too many reactions while donating. Most likely because they told me, you know, white, older female who isn't real heavy is what they told me, are more likely to have reactions. So at that time, I weighed 150 when I had my last reaction, but when I started donating, I weighed like 120-ish, 125, something like that. But anyway, I am going to sign off because this video, due to the fact that it was a 2-hour episode, they revealed 2 characters, and y'all know I'm Gabby and I just like to talk. But due to all of that, this video is about the same length as some of my longer ones when I was trying to make it shorter so that like I can get back to my house and deal with stuff. And we left our dogs alone while we were at my other daughter's wedding. I don't know how long exactly we were gone. I'm going to say somewhere between 36 and 38 hours, and they did real good. We crated them. Neither of them had messes or anything. I think maybe the bigger dog may have peed in her crate one time, but they did really, really super good, and I'm proud of them. But I am going to log off now, and everyone have a great whatever time of day or night it is in your part of the world. That's right, I switched it to great instead of good. And stay positive, stay safe. I hear sirens. Somebody wasn't staying safe. I mean, stuff happens, you know, doesn't it? Anyway, I'm going to log off, and yeah, have a good whatever time have a great whatever time of day or night it is in your part of the world. Stay positive and stay safe. That's right, I said it twice, so do it twice. Do it always, actually. Can you tell I didn't get much sleep last night, the last couple of nights? Gabby Kathy, I am logging off, and you all will see me the next time.